Hello, I'm David Breeden. I'm the senior minister at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, and we are a historically humanist congregation, and this is Coffee and Wisdom, when we try to look at some of the various aspects of religion and philosophy and ways of thinking and ways of living. This week, I want to start a little series called It's really, I think, a question that is not as easy as it might first appear. So let's ask the question and look at it from several different directions through the week. First off, we can say religion. This is from the Oxford Dictionary. The belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Well, guess what? That only covers a narrow band of basically monotheistic religions, the big three. Other ones, such as Buddhism, don't have any supernaturalism within them. So then, therefore, you have to argue, well, is Buddhism or is Confucianism, are they religions or are they philosophies or what? So really, I think most scholars have now backed away from this particular definition. If you look in Wikipedia, you will see that religion is defined this way. Religion is a cultural system of behaviors and practices, worldviews, ethics, and social organization that relate humanity to an order of existence. See how they have, the people who wrote this are looking at Buddhism and Confucianism and Shintoism, etc., saying, wait a minute, no supernatural powers. What are they? Well, they're a cultural system of behaviors and practices. They're a system of worldviews, ethics, and social organization that relate humanity to an order of existence, not to a higher order, lower order, other order, but an order of existence. This, of course, in philosophy is known as ontology, the idea of being. So, there are two aspects of religion according to this. It's a cultural system of behaviors, and it relates humanity to an order of existence. All right, that's what religion is. I can go there, but wait a minute. Starting back in 1982 with this this book that kind of changed everything in terms of religious studies by Professor Jonathan Z. Smith, who died in 2017. This book, Imagining Religion from Babylon to Jonestown, all the way back to the beginning of written human records to this disaster that had occurred. And what is it from his viewpoint? He says this: religion is solely the creation of the scholar's study. It is created for the scholar's analytic purposes by his imaginative acts of comparison and generalization. Religion has no existence apart from the academy. Now, wait a minute. We know that there are churches and temples everywhere across the planet. What the heck is this guy saying? Well, actually, he begins a trend that continues to this day. This is a fairly recent book, Before Religion, A History of a Modern Concept. Today, most serious scholars of religion say that actually religion is a concept created out of the European Enlightenment. It makes no sense to the wider world, and it is an imposition of Western values on other cultures as a way really of saying, oh, look, we have the right answer and these guys don't. And indeed, as you know, the Enlightenment nowadays is often considered to be the instrument of colonialism in bringing Europe out into the world and attacking others, often because they didn't have a religion, because Christianity was the only true one, et cetera, et cetera. So the idea that religion is created by Europeans as a way to impose power and the power of Christianity on other religions. So that's kind of where we are nowadays in terms of a scholarly consensus of the term, because, yeah, we can look at a culture such as Japan that had absolutely no word for religion previous to its meeting with the Western world, saying, what's your religion, Japanese people? They had no answer. They had to make up the term and then define it. So this is a very important idea going on nowadays, but also you have to say, wait a minute, but we know there is this thing called religion, so what's up with that? Well, Dr. Smith is correct that for most of humanity, for most of human history, the separation of religion from culture and social life was unthinkable. If, for example, you lived in Babylon, one was expected to worship the gods of Babylon. And that's really how the world operated in the day. As a matter of fact, we know there are letters from the Roman Empire period in which people will write home to Rome and say, hey, I'm in Syria and I just went to the temple of blank, the local Syrian god, and they have some very interesting gods here, love the temples, love lighting candles, love the incense, etc. But part of the cultural tourism of the Roman Empire was seeing what the other religions were like. There wasn't this idea that, oh, these people need Christianity. Oh, but guess what? Christianity does come along in the Roman Empire period and does start insisting that it is correct. But isn't religion more than only a cultural system of behaviors relating humanity to an order of existence? And this is the question I really want to look at. Why is it so important to so many people? Now, we know that, yes, the concept of religion comes out of an idea of secularizing Europe. Europeans have been killing each other for years over religion. And finally, people, some thinkers, politicians, etc., began to say, wait a minute, I think we need to secularize our governments so that we don't just keep killing each other. And really, that is the idea, where the idea of separating those come from. Now, because yes, if cultural system of behavior and relating humanity in order of existence is religion, isn't, oh, I don't know, soccer and politics, eat, sleep, soccer, get alive, play soccer, aren't those religious claims that are going on? And certainly we know people who live politics as a religion, if that is how we define religion. Yeah, back to the Oxford Dictionary, an older definition, no God in soccer, probably. But yeah, if we get rid of the supernatural element, then we get these things that are probably equivalent to religion. And so what is the difference? Which again, we need to look at this week. So I think religion is the belief that some things are more important than others. This is one of the things that I use as a way of thinking about religion. Some things are more important than others. Now, that's pretty general, I understand, but wait and see where we can go with that idea. Also, it's an ordering of reality based on the judgments of what is more important than other things. It is a world view. Also, a code of ethics and values based on those things that are considered important. Now, yeah, if you call soccer the most important thing, as you can see, you can fit it into this somewhat. And certain behaviors, routines, or rituals usually based in some kind of tradition. But yes, baseball has a lot of behaviors, routines, and rituals based in tradition as well. It even has its own hymns, right? So you see how it gets complicated talking about what is religion as opposed to other kinds of creations. Now, Professor Jonathan J. Smith did define the word religion eventually, even though he said it's a creation of the European mind. He said, religion is the quest within the bounds of the human historical condition, so culturally based, in other words, for the power to manipulate and negotiate one's situation so as to have space in which to meaningfully dwell. Okay, you see where he's going there. Religion is the quest within the bounds of the human historical condition for the power to manipulate and negotiate one's situation so as to have space in which to meaningfully dwell. I like that definition. It is a little bit complex, however. So it's a quest within the human condition to manipulate one's situation in order to live a meaningful life. And that's kind of where we're going to go this week, is to think through these definitions and what religion really is outside of a European context. So the question this week is, so what is religion anyway? Thanks, and you can help us out, keep humanism going strong by going to PayPal or firstunitarian.org/donate. Find us on YouTube. We have a new channel called Den of Conversation, where this appears, Coffee and Wisdom, and also our Bibles and beer, and some other humanist content. So be sure to subscribe to the Den of Conversation, and I'll see you tomorrow.